de faire. Good evening, everyone. I am Mr. Brad
Hello.
Chester. Over top of me is Mr. Brian Horton. And because Nurgle Matt's first in, we are going to talk about Nurgle first. I,
Absolutely.
I,
Why
was,
not?
I was debating on whether I was going to talk Nurgle, whether I was going to talk World Eaters. And we are officially now 2 weeks in a row. What? Something went smooth? Hey, I even checked the audio and the video before I went live for a check thing.
I mean,
Woo!
every once in a while, we get things semi right.
Oh, let me tell you about this little handy dandy mic I have. So, upgraded wildly with the audio. So, I have a big boom mic now that's going over, and I have a L-shaped desk here. You know what'll wake you up? So, I don't know, say hypothetically one of us is not very tall and has a real hard time sleeping. I finally get to sleep, and apparently I tightened this too much, and the big piece of glass that's on top of my desk that makes the top of the desk slid off because I had cranked this bad boy so much that I had bent the frame because while an idiot, I apparently can Hulk out when I need to or when I don't want to. And yeah, everything on my desk on the one side of the desk came crashing to the ground at 4 in the morning. That will startle you.
Yes, it will.
Your audio is only going through the right track. I don't know what that means.
That means you're mono, not stereo.
I definitely should be everything. How about now? Did I push a button? Now this should be two on the thing and stuff. All right, let's see if this works again. How about now? Man, I got a
Bent the
mixer.
frame. That's a paddling.
Sometimes I do dumb shit. I'm just saying that it sometimes happens. All right. Oh no, that's awful. Um, well, it was beautiful before. I also
All right.
accidentally
So
crushed it.
2 week, definitely 2 weeks to BFS. Ed, Zuber and I are looking forward to coming down and judging down there again for the BFS teams coming up in West Nyack. Sold out. You want to get
The
to that
wall?
next year? Make sure you sign up early.
It's all of the things, some of the stuff. That's all I'm
So
saying.
we are going to be talking about the Nurgle stuff that got officially spoiled by Games Workshop today on Warhammer Community.
It
So,
looks
Brad,
pretty.
what's your thoughts on this? The change to Death Guard.
I think. I think it's a big deal. I think that the one thing that you can't double stack it anymore. So I think it's a little more fair. So let's go down here. Nurgle's gift. Now it's straight up for Nurgle the army. So I think that's huge. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting that, just not one detachment. So the fact that you again can choose, you know, subtract. Yeah, everybody gets the -1 toughness if you're within plague range. The plague range did not change, 369, but we've got subtracting one from the hit roll, which is a big difference between weapon skill, ballistic skill. I think that is something that you have to note because you can't double now. You can't get that -2 like you could before.
I think
Cup and
that's
string
to.
audio. How? This is $1 billion mic going through a mixer.
It sounds good on my end, Brad, but
I don't know
uh,
what's happening though.
we
How are we reading about Nurgle's good for bad side? I want to know how I sound bad when I have wildly a lot of money going into this stupid mic and the setup.
yeah, we'll play with it more after the stream. I guess will be the answer to that question.
Boo. Brad,
So,
sad.
but anyways, I actually think this takes away the bad feels because people, as a judge, when people didn't understand how that worked, it was a bad feels time of, oh, I would never have done that had I known. And their opponent went, well, I told you at the beginning of the game that you could be up to -2. And they'd go, oh, well, I thought it was maxed at -1. And it was, a not great explanation of understanding sometimes. I think this fits the narrative of the game a lot better.
I agree. Also, screw you, Zoobs. I also don't know what the fuck's wrong here. It's driving me crazy. This is what happens when your desk falls apart and all your stuff falls on the ground. I've had multiple recordings with this bad boy where it sounded perfect. But let's continue down. So, Army Faction, good. I think this is fantastic. So,
I think we're going to, depending upon how all the detachments shake out, I bet you we start seeing that worsen save characteristic unit a little bit more.
I think it's a big deal because I kind of like this. The Miasmic Bombardment, you can choose 2 units a turn, and you effectively just choose 2 people that are super far away, and you give them contagion on that.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. You just take that -1 save and just go, hey, I'm going to PBC you. You know what I mean? I'm going to shoot you with this Predator.
Yep.
Especially if you're sitting around Morty ignoring modifiers. That's gigantic at that point in time. You know what I mean? I think that's a real thing on that.
Yeah, I love the idea of it. This Miasmic Bombardment is going to be it's going to lend for some different builds for Nurgle, which is a good thing.
Oh, 100% on that. So let's talk about some enhancements and the stratagem from this. So the Eye of Affliction, range weapons equipped by models the unit have ignore cover while targeting an afflicted enemy unit. That's obviously some combo you're going to run all the time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You rock out, no cover. You're dropping that contagion on people. Put the phones on and the sound is fucked up. Yeah, man, I don't know what to do about this, to be honest with you. All my audio is going through my Scarlet and everything was perfect until it got slammed on the ground. So, yeah. So, yeah. How about that? So much, yeah. I don't know how to fix it. My head's not... My brain's not big enough to figure out how to do all that. But
so with this being, a Death Guard model only and ranged weapons by the model's bearer's unit, what's your shooting unit that's going to be so useful for this? Is it just Plague Marines?
You can do Plague Marines, but I was thinking to myself that they're probably going to put in some more shooting type units, Havoc version of Nurgle, something of that nature. Some bubonic.
What Havoc type unit do they have?
Well, they put out new stuff for Emperor's Children, so I was just assuming that we're going to get some new units. You know what I mean? We got Incursors, Tormentors, Flawless Blades for Emperor's Children. I think it's been a long time since we got an actual new unit for any of these.
But as we know, there's currently on the docket only one new model coming for Death Guard that they've announced. And I would assume they wouldn't be putting out a Codex without putting out other new models. Is there a chance that they open up something from CSM for it?
Probably on that. I don't know. The thing is, I'm not 100% sure on that. I was very pleased when they put the Emperor's Children new stuff in. So I think that this has to be, because I don't really care if I'm shooting a Plague Marine unit. I'm just going to be close up in your face. You know what I mean? I think that this is going to be on somebody that can sit back and get value out of it. I think that's
we'll have to wait and see until Saturday when the people who get the preview copies can give us a little more insight.
Give us the chat. I do like the Font of Filth. Just giving Assault to a vehicle, you can zoom around those corners and get some real stuff on that. So,
well, think about that with the Plague Burst Crawler with the Flamers.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just having Assault on those. That's big.
Yeah. I mean, Death Guard drop odds would be legit on that. Death Guard Obliterators, yes, would be a big deal on that. I think that both of them would be. I mean, if I could get Obliterators that had the ability to have a character with them, ignoring cover, yes, please.
I don't think we're getting that, but so this is the detachment rule that I found fairly interesting because in the past we've seen how obnoxious free models are.
And this is so crazy. You're getting 3 units.
Yeah.
Like 3 units. I need to say that again. That's huge.
That's massive. I mean, that's not that. I don't care how inexpensive they are. I don't, it's that is more bodies that I get for free and more free wounds that you have to deal with.
They're also coming from reserves, so you've got
Yeah.
options.
So you're walking them in from board edges on, turn 3 and 4. They're coming in from any board edge. That can be really obnoxious. That gives you a lot of scoring potential, a lot of
getting in the way potential. Yeah.
Yeah. Move blocking, so much stuff.
I mean, also you could just rapid these in and steal an objective. Exactly, Matt. They could wait in reserves till late game. You bring in 3 units on turn 5. It could be just.
I mean, you're not bringing in 3 units. So you got to read this again, Brad. In your command phase, in each of the following battle rounds, depending on the chosen battle sides, a new Poxwalker unit with a starting strength of 10 from your army comes in from strategic reserve. You're not rapid ingressing this unit. It's coming in your command phase.
Yeah, but no, it says add a new Poxwalker unit with a starting strength of 10 to your army in strategic reserves. It doesn't say I have to bring it out.
Yeah, just saying. But if you don't bring them out on turn, well, I guess you can. Yeah, you could leave them in at turn 4.
Yeah, just I'll let them sit there forever.
Yeah,
they didn't start exactly. They didn't start the game.
Yeah, they didn't start. Yeah, I misread. That's on me.
Yeah, I'm just.
I don't have my glasses on.
That shit's just gross, dude.
It's gonna be nuts. I look. Poxwalker jail was a thing that we all dealt with at one point in time. It was a definitive army.
It's back, baby. Thing. It's back.
It sounds like it's back. Yeah.
So I mean I like this quite a bit. The Witherbone pipes are just like whatever. Add one to the OC. It could possibly be good. You know what I mean? The Battle Shocker leaderships, they're adding one, but their leadership's terrible. I do like the Shambling Wall, dude. Bonus shooting phase, after you selected, 1 Death Guard unit from your army that was selected as a target of 1 or more of these attacking units, and 1 friendly Poxwalker unit within 3 of your unit invisible to both your unit and attacking unit. Till the end of phase, each time you allocate an attack to a model in your Death Guard unit, if your Poxwalker unit is visible to the attacking model and is eligible target for the attack, no saving throw is made for the attack. Instead of number of Poxwalkers from your pot unit get killed. Dude, this is so awesome. It's basically just like the old Gretchen strat for orcs. This was fantastic then. It's fantastic now.
Granted, it's just the Poxwalkers take damage equal to the damage characteristics. So it's going to be kind of nutty.
Feel no pains are still out there, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just, it's also a big deal. You're just going to have like things like Death Shroud Terminators cruising up with.
I'm sorry, you shot 5 las cannons at Morty. Yeah, that's just going to those Poxwalkers.
No shit, dude. It's anybody. Yeah, I'm just letting you know Morty's going to be charging you next turn. So, and it's huge.
It's just Death Guard units. So it's like, oh look, my Predator's right there. Oh, you're shooting at my Predator? Nah, you're killing some Poxwalkers.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. No, it's not for the whole phase. It's just for one. And they've been doing such a better job of that. Once they changed the AOC and stuff like that, I think that's a big deal in that. So
it's still really good. It's still super good.
That is true, Matt. He made a good point. They also have to roll on Morty's toughness when they're wounding. You know what I mean? Because he's passing the damage off.
Yep.
So I think this is it. Horde is making a huge impact right now in the meta, especially in the teams meta. This looks like it's just going to play really, really well. It's got some shenanigans already. I mean, obviously the Shambling Wall strat's fucking nuts. So
Nurgle Matt is definitely allowed to enjoy that detachment rule.
That is true. He's always in the thing. So I wish they gave us one more thing. I was excited about that because there's they got the other 4 detachments. They have the old play cap. They basically, the index is still there. Champions of Contagion. This one really it intrigues me because they can switch their plague contagion up every round. So like you could do just different shit, take away armor save. You're gonna get into the mix. Okay, I'm gonna make everybody -1 to hit. When the shit goes down, that looks pretty cool. And then the one that I really think is going to be disgusting because people already have them. The Deathlord's Chosen. It's a Terminator company Dude, there's so many people out there that have shit tons of Death Shrouds and Blight
Yep.
Lords. This one might come out of the gate being just gross.
It's at least going to be popular, and it's going to see a table, which is the one thing that we all want to see is just different armies on the table.
Agreed. Like 100% agreed. You know what I also agree on is why my number one light's not lighting up. You know what? I'm gonna punch two babies today. They get yelled at. Let's go to corn.
Absolutely.
I think that this rush to the fray can be a real thing, man. Detachment rule. Get yourself in a transport. When you get out of a transport, add 1 to charge rolls, and all your melee weapons have lance.
Oof. That
Dude.
is super strong.
Yup.
Berserker Rush is back.
I mean, this is pretty gross, dude. Plus 1 of your charges out there. We'll see if they can do any other manipulation with the new corn chart, for the move. Blah. Plus is to move on this. I full throttle assault. Fantastic. 1 World Eater Rhino from your army that has not been selected to move this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a World Eater's unit disembarks from that model, after it has made a normal move, the unit's still eligible to charge this turn. Holy shit.
Rush to the fray, full throttle assault. Yeah. Oh, boy.
I mean,
I bet you, Karn and buddies get there a lot faster now.
you get Karn, you got the Mo coming out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a big deal on that. Then you've got, aggressive disembarkation. Again, another World Eater's Rhino at the beginning.
Yeah. And Eric's pointing out that we did skip over the blurb at the beginning about the dice, which we should probably talk about. The blessings
Zooming
of Korn
back.
changed.
So the blessing is Korn Chain. I saw that fucking, Total Carnage now needs a double 3 or more instead of double 4s. If you get Angron back, you don't get anything else. Is that said here? I think I'm just I feel like everybody saw that. It was all over Reddit, but whatever. Whoops,
But it's not official.
True. I mean, dude, rhinos running at you is crazy.
I mean, Chaos Rhinos were super important before this. Now they're even more important. If you only owned 1 Rhino for the sakes of having 1 Rhino for your World Eaters army, you may be taking more than that now. It seems pretty good.
Dude, it's so crazy. That aggressive disembarkation is bananas. You like zoom this Rhino up and then just jam people into combat. You have 2 different strats where you can just throw people from Rhinos straight into combat.
Yeah. That's so good.
Eric, my thing is you're not going to get advanced in charge, but I don't think it matters, especially if you're playing something like this. You're going to get people in. Because in my mind, you're doing a bunch of Rhinos, but then you've got some Exalted and everything else right behind them, man. With some real big damage on that.
And the fact now that because you have that infiltrating unit for World Eaters, you can play a lot more with these Rhinos and be, especially on GW terrain, hopping from area to area and hiding yourself and setting yourself up for a really good go turn on, turn 3 without a problem.
Oh, huge. And you can just take the board from them. That's the biggest thing that the really good World Eater players get is a lot of times the threat of how far you can go keeps people turtled up, and then you just sit on objectives and go, oh, I'm just going to win. So, 2 Rhinos weren't really the status quo for a while because a lot of people just weren't running a lot of Zerkers and stuff, and all of the 8-bound and the Exalted couldn't get in. So a lot of times you were seeing 1. So, but yeah, I think this is going to be gross. Let's talk about the Idols of Korn. Get the Lord of Skulls ready. Select one of the Idols of Korn abilities listed below. Until the start of your next command phase, that ability is active and its effects apply to all World Eaters Titanic, cough cough, Lord of Skulls, and World Eaters monster units from your army. Prince is coming back. these are huge. Just +1 to hit, +1 to wound seems legit. It's while a friendly jackals or Gormonger units within 6 of this model, or 9 if it's a load of skulls. +1 to hit, +1 to wound, bros. Add +1 to move, +1 to advance, and charge rolls. You know what I mean? And then there's having a 4-up invuln on whatever. I don't know how big.
I mean, granted, that means you have to, use your jackals and goremongers correctly. There's a lot more movement precision that you need in that case, but still fairly strong.
I mean, all these are good. I mean, this one isn't as badass as the Rhino detachment, though. I'm sorry. This is cool, but I don't know if it's the best on that. I mean, I do like the fact that you can just jam a lord in your jackals or goremongers. You know what I mean? The goremongers are significantly beefier if you just throw a beatdown character in them. Just kind of go up and go, hey, nothing to see here, just a lord rolling in here.
I mean, the goremongers and jackals getting a 4-up invul save is it's gonna be kind of nutty.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. 5-up Final Pain, from In the Shadows of Brass Shadows, they get it. Whew. I mean, just chewing through that's gonna be just bananas.
Mhm.
Also, they hit hard as shit. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get yes, Ed. Eldar are gonna shit their banana hammocks when World Leader rush them. Yeah, I mean they're not super ecstatic to be that close. Demon Princes and Bloodthirsters KR, that's what I'm actually thinking. They did the Emperor's Children Bloodthirsters are so much better than they used to be now. So I'm actually looking forward to, because I really like Demon Princes. I love the lore of them. I like the look of them because you can do so many conversions. I think that's a big deal. I think that all of the detachments are, sorry, not all the detachments, all of the Chaos faction books are going to have relevant Demon Princes. And I would say that they're probably all going to have new kits also. So that's a big
I mean,
deal.
we just got that new Demon Prince kit, which does have some nice parts in it to make all the specific god Demon Princes.
Yeah, and it's a big deal on that. I mean, so with the rest of this, we have the Berserker Warband coming back. We've got the Daemonkin, which will be the demon. Every one of them is going to have a demon detachment where they bring guys in. I'm actually wondering what the Possessed Slaughter Band's going to be.
Yeah, anything that makes them better or more interesting is kind of fun. That's the one I'm the most curious about because that's been the most popular units right now for World Eaters for a while. So seeing something that buffs them would be fun.
If you get some badass units or buffs for your Exalted and your 8-bound, I think that's hardcore.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It looks again. I'm slightly shocked that we're getting both of them in the same weekend. I thought for sure they'd stagger this out a little bit, but the fact that we're getting them so quick, so rapidly, and it's coming into where they're going to come in the 10th of May, so they're going to be in before a lot of the bigger events that start happening. Just like our event that we have coming
happening on the June 6th, 7th, and 8th in Southfield, right next to Detroit. You can get there very easily by driving over or flying in 30 minutes away from the airport. Actually, a pretty cheap Uber ride.
And the nice part about that is it's a good event. We're going to have amazing terrain. We've got some sponsors. Green Banner Events is helping us with the event, so it's going to be a good time.
I'm excited. Also, we need some signups, guys. Everybody's telling me that they're coming and that hasn't signed up. Sign up, or I will show up at your house and it'll be weird.
It's nice to get these two armies close together, which means hopefully Thousand Sons are going to be a real quick, get up and get out there as well. Because it'd be nice to get all this chaos stuff rolling in super fast.
I still think you're going to see Wolves and Thousand Sons like in a release.
I absolutely would be happy to see that.
Oh God. Glad to see Death Watch Live is on tonight. And the $2 super chat. I mean, this is where you go if you're like, hey, are they going to make it? I did shrug off my left side going numb yesterday for a while. So, yeah, it came back eventually.
Look, my leg only swelled to twice its size at one point today. Then my knee cracked and the swelling went down. We're all good.
It's all good. I'm basically top form right now. Brian and I are probably going to start doing decathlons.
Drinking decathlons? Is that what
I
you said?
didn't say what kind of decathlon.
Okay.
Just saying we're going to join decathlons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't say what kind of decathlon. I said we will be doing decathlons. It
So
is what it is.
Absolutely. So the fact that we're getting what looks like to be like the setup of, hey, whole lot of new stuff really fast, wild, wild west coming up for a month, because it's going to take a while for the meta to understand what new Death Guard do, what World Eaters do, how to play against Emperor's Children. And if you're telling me we're getting T-Suns and Space Wolves at the exact, within
I think
a
they're
month,
going to come out together. Like
it would be awesome if they did. And a limited, again, one of my favorite box sets they ever did was the one that was the limited edition box set that had Thousand Suns and Space Wolves in it. It was super fun.
Yes.
It was like Hexbane, I think it was, or something like that.
It's really good for combat patrols and stuff like that too, because you can immediately put the shit on the board.
And new missions.
Oh, I'm so excited for
do
missions.
any.
Yeah.
Hopefully the answer to that is in another week or so we'll see that come up for pre-order. Yay!
I do love Wayne's comment. Drink enough and everything can go numb, not just the one side. So joint faction boxes because they don't sell. I mean, they really like doing a lot of that stuff because they like pushing the story. They're very big on their IP. So it is a very good thing for the IP. Is it great for specifics in the game? Probably not optimum, but for them, it's an IP awesomeness to be fair. So I think it's a big deal.
Zuber, don't bring that evil on us, Ricky Bobby.
God, dude, I got one for you. I had a new player I started coaching. I get a lot of people from the Lorecast. 40K Lorecast, always go show up, 40klorecast.com. You can also go click on that, and it has a link to the tournament. Boom, 2 for 1. But he played kick the soccer ball from Leviathan for his opponent wanted to play it. He's just starting to play, and he's like, it's Servo Skulls, and he's like, this didn't seem normal. I'm like, no, that mission was just not played ever. I'm not real sure why your opponent was like, this is the mission I want to play.
I mean, every once in a while somebody wants to try something out because they haven't gotten a chance to do so. By all means, at least, try it out every once in a while.
Oh, the 40K Lorecat site, we're still doing different stuff. I love the fact that on the merch for our merch site, everything's there, everything's good. We got a copy strike for the 40K Lorecats sweatshirt. I have no idea why. GW apparently was like, we're totally good with every one of your AI images that you use. However, not 40K Lorecats. I was like, why?
Yeah, you never know.
I do not know.
Cease and desists come in from somewhere.
They took offense to me and my inability to apparently enunciate. John was so against that in the beginning too. Also, he's like,
oh, very much so.
Yeah, and finally, I'm like, just make the one. He's like, fine. And now he actually put out on the Facebook. He put out like 4 AI images of Marines with cats coming at you. I was like, yes. Also, we're doing a Q&A next week, brother.
Yeah, we are.
I'm excited. I'm ready to rock and/or roll. Want to talk about the meta, or we want to talk about? I want to talk more chaos. To be honest with you,
I mean, you can only cover so much because we don't want to get into the point where we're talking about things that are leaked on Reddit.
I know.
So we're gonna hold.
I think they're gonna be strong. Like people are bitching that we lose this and this, but I think they're gaining a lot.
I think that sometimes addition by subtraction is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, just you're you're getting more stuff. Also, the fact that Angron doesn't become an auto gives you
Yep.
400 and whatever points he is right now. I forget, 445. But
Something like
but you get a ton of shit, man. Yeah. I want to hear what the TGEC list was still. 10-5. I mean, everybody's running like the same thing right now.
it's roughly in the same ballpark. It's a couple. It's what the
Two princes, 10-5-5
Yep.
of
Yep.
infractors, 2 units of tormentors, 3 units of noise marines, coconuts, 2/3 exalted that goes so you get the flips, and like 3 rhinos. Man, noise marines do work when they get out, man. Whew.
Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing them on the table shortly. I haven't. None of the local players yet have just bought 3 of the boxes and slapped them down and go, here, we're trying this out. But I would assume in the next couple of weeks I'll start seeing them on the table, and I'll get to watch them run, because I just haven't had time to TTS with them yet.
Last Church is the best 40K short story ever. 100%. I stand behind that. It's fantastic. Vessels is better without anger. I agree on that. You just get so much more stuff. That army slaps, and I think it's going to slap even harder. I mean, we're just looking at shit like, I'm terrified of these 2 strats with Lance, with guys getting out after they YOLO up with rhinos. Getting out and auto just disembarking and being in engagement range. What? You know what I mean? It is crazy on that. And the thing is that it doesn't say aggressive disembarkation doesn't say you can't get out after you advance too. So I think that's a huge deal. I mean, the other ones like regular, you make a normal move, you get out, charge. The other ones advance that bad boy out, push the ejector seat, and then they're just in combat. That's crazy. I mean, my Eldar are not excited.
I don't know. We're gonna have to see where it shakes out a little bit. I'm always of the everything looks pretty fair and balanced right now that I've seen. At least the legit stuff I've seen seems pretty fair and balanced. Nothing seems like it's going to be super bonkers crazy, but again, only seeing limited portions of things is always the caveat to that.
Yeah, I mean, these look tasty. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna have to go through them. I'm reading the World Leader stuff. I'm reading from the leaks.
All right, so let's give a shout out to Team America for going overseas and
4 nations.
And the 4 nations and rocking out, going undefeated and doing some fantastic work. They finished in first place, going undefeated, winning all their games fairly handedly. So it was like they did a really nice job.
Yeah, they
give them a ton of credit.
They upped their game. They played really well. So I have to give the U.S. some serious
credit. And so we'll give them a few shout outs. Michael Mann was there, Alex Bathos, Trent Bates, Walter Legendorf, Folger Piles, Lucas Troller, and Nanavati, and Logan Heath, which is really cool. They did a great job. Congrats to them for representing the U.S. very well.
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
Yep.
Let's Chink. Let's talk about the meta. We had a light weekend.
We did. It was a holiday weekend after all, so normally not a lot of stuff gets planned for those.
True story. So, on that, you could block. You know what? I'm going to talk about this real quick. Emperor's Children. I'm going to do a quick Brad teaching everyone in chat moment. Getting around fights first requires you to have some sort of trash to touch people, and then you hit the edge of the unit. So they can only fights first with 1, maybe 2 models. So you need a sacrificial lamb to go over there. So sometimes you need someone to take one for the team. But you don't have to make. You can everybody in your unit can punch the one guy especially if you're on 32s. Just wrap Timmy and beat the crap out of him in an alley. So I'm a big fan of that. You're like, why is everybody beating up on that one dude? You'll know why. You know why. Also, punching shit next to a unit, like if you're playing custodes, you're playing anybody that can do some mortals and hit stuff. If you can kill things in the charge phase, huge deal. You know, get something down to 1 or 2 wounds, charge that, and not the other thing, and then just pile into it. And then you get around.
And
fight
always
first.
always remembering the things and ways to get around fight first is kill it with grenades and tank shock.
No, most underused. It's still in the game, man.
Yeah.
It just if you're not, you know, telling people to hold this and walking away with your grenade, oh no.
Yeah.
It's a big deal on that. Also, tank shock, man. Somebody's got some sort of nonsense 2-up rerollable save until I make it. Here's your tank shock. Here's your grenade. There you go.
Yep.
It seemed too hard to kill your regular. Just deal with mortal wounds. And I think not everything, every army has to have some sort of mortal wound output to take away super tough things. You know,
Yep.
it's a big deal. Just roll 4s strategy. Nice. I mean, sometimes that works. There's a reason you keep seeing custodes show up with still 15 wardens and 3 blade champs, you know. You're like 4-up's a hell of a drug. Sometimes you just don't take any damage. I actually yelled at Forger with that. I'm like, dude, I've been doing some mocks, you know, moving up with different Eldar, and I go half the time I do no damage, and the other half I delete the entire unit. This is stupid. Like it's so swingy. So it's just crazy on that. I'm looking forward to this new meta though. I like when we put a lot of new shit out there. It lets people really go into the lab and come out with a lot of different armies. You know what I mean? I like going to tables and not knowing what the hell I'm going to see. You know, even when you see the faction, sometimes you're just like, man, that is wildly different. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to think on a lot of the faction, like right now, when you see Tyranids, you have to go, oh, okay, let me see which detachment it is. Yes, you're probably going to see 2 to 3 exocrines in every one of the armies, but the rest of it can be wildly different based upon what faction, you know, what sub faction the detachment they're playing. And that continually seems like it keeps happening more and more as more books come out.
Yeah. And I like that though, because they've done a better job in this last half of making more of the detachments relevant. You know, in the beginning, I felt like a lot of times you just had this detachment significantly better than the others. I think they're doing a much better job of making it so there's real decisions to be made in what you're playing. So I like that a lot, and I'm looking forward to these. You know what I mean? If they could just start doing a get me more flavor. Goddamn, Craft Worlds. We've talked about this before. I do think I'd rather just have them not be vanilla named. I know they're doing that because of paint scheme, but I don't think it lends to, especially new players, understanding what they should be playing.
Is as someone who works in a store and sees this a lot of people come in going, oh yeah, I've decided I wanted to play Space Marines. And then they pull out the Citadel Color app or a YouTube tutorial of this is how you paint Ultramarines. And they go over to the thing, pick up the paints they want, ask some questions about advice on how to achieve what they're looking to do. But a lot of people really like now, I've noticed this more and more recently, a lot of the newer players really like painting to the lore scheme, which is, I think, a very good thing on why these detachments are the way they are, is because now you're not pigeonholed into doing something.
I got you, but it's just, man, it's fine. But you got a lot of new players. 40K is just expensive, man. You know what I mean? Especially for the new people coming in. When you're picking stuff up, nobody wants to pick up nonsense and be sad that they just dropped $1,000 on shit that they probably weren't going to use because they want to play a specific style.
Yeah.
You know,
but in this is one of those things where I can, 25 to 30% of the players are playing competitive tournament style armies. there's a huge swath of players who are playing their buddies in the basement,
Oh, it's the
and
majority, wildly the
the
majority.
vast majority. And you know what? Hey, look, I just picked up my third box of Infernus Marines. Oh, what makes you play that? Oh man, I heard that they're going to be great in the new drop pods coming out. And I go, yeah, that rocks. Have a good time. Because that's what they're looking forward to doing. They're looking forward to that. I'm playing salamanders. I'm popping out of drop pods with Infernus Marines, and I'm going to have a good time. And you know what? Kudos. I love that.
Oh,
Those are things that I think sometimes lacking in 40K. Competitive's an entirely different animal, but man, I love sometimes just playing those fun games where you play random stuff. I will use this as a couple weeks ago. Me and Jim Seidlinger, who's a very big Nurgle guy, we played a thing, and I looked at him and went, "Hey, I'm bringing, the Hierophant Biotitan and some other stuff, and like my army was Toxicrins, Hierophant Biotitan, Screamer Killers. It was, not tournament level stuff, and we customized a scenario a little bit, ran it at each other, and had a good time. It was super fun."
First, now you don't put that evil on them, Zoobs. Don't send them over to BattleTech. Even though I do like the game too. I like old Battle. You ever play old BattleTech?
Oh, absolutely, dude. I've been around gaming for 100 years. It's one of the crunchiest games ever.
One of my favorites is the Gen Con listing. Every game's like, 2-hour block, 4-hour block. BattleTech was 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Be there. Like, Jesus, man.
Didn't they do at Adepticon a couple of years, like 24-hour BattleTech rooms where it was just, hey, there's big games going on. Come in and join in.
Yep.
Play for however long you want and hop on out. That's good fun.
Hey, Adepticon has the biggest apocalypse games going on, I think, in the country.
Oh, absolutely.
They're playing with holy shit amount of points on stuff. So, we talked about this a little bit last week, which is Horde. And I think that every army has to have an answer to it, because I think you're going to see a lot of it. And here's the two things that I'm predicting. They're already kind of happening. You're going to see a shit ton of transport armies. World Eaters, Emperor's Children, you've already got orcs running around with a ton of trucks, shit like that. And then you're going to have just a lot of bodies out there. Man, especially at those team events, I've just been seeing, a lot of teams just bring in 2 dedicated horde lists just to put into people, and it's just difficult, especially, you put out your defender and go, hey, I don't have that many guns, so I've been seeing a lot of that. But the thing is that you got to be so versatile. But I think you're going to see a lot of different weapon profiles coming out, because you can't just take Meltas.
You yourself, brought a unit of Desolation Marines.
Yeah, specifically for that. Also because they had plunging fire terrain, and it was fantastic. Also, screw Folger on that one. When we played his team, he got a first drop or a first table pick, and they picked the 2 tables because I was defending second. They picked the 2 tables that had plunging fire, specifically just so I could not have them. I was like, you guys are ruining my day.
I mean, I think you're going to see a lot more versatile units that have the ability to do both things. Handle a little bit of horde and, crack some moons off the big armor stuff become norm, because you need the flexibility.
You think the Knights are going to be a bigger thing? Because once you start taking out all of the las cannons and, big Meltas and all that other shit, excuse me, and you put in more and more volume, you're going to have, Knights will be way more resilient.
I think that Knights are going to continue to always be in the meta, and they're going to win some events because they're going to get matchups that aren't designed to handle them. There'll be not enough of it in some armies to handle it, because they'll be like, oh, well, I think everything's going to be hordes. I'll lean a little more into the anti-infantry side of things, and I'll have a couple tank killers because people got transports and I need to kill a few transports. And then you run into Knights and you go, oh, it's tough to out OC8. I have to play a maneuver around this a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting nonsense on especially the expansion /middle is a big deal in that. You're just like, hey, there's
Mhm.
8 OC there. You can't just fly up 5 scouts or something to take that,
Yep.
away. 1 3 Night Valiants. So many flamers. Didn't have the harpoon on it too?
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see as like all of the demon stuff, all the the chaos books with demons in them roll out here, and we'll see where everything falls because I think it's one of those things where everything's got play. There's a lot of +1 to wound strats out there that makes it a little easier to kill vehicles, but most of
True.
those guns that you're putting out volume don't have super high AP. So it's one of those, the universally good models that have flexibility is going to continue to be there.
I disagree with that, Lyle. I think the meta is actually really good right now because you're having so many different things out there.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's running rampant over people either. So
I
we
like that you can walk up to a table and the guy's playing Tau and you go, oh, which one of the 4 detachments are you running that are feasible to run? I'm not saying they're great. I'm just saying they're feasible to run. And then you go, oh, okay, I haven't played against that in a while. I got to think about what you do. I got to think a little more choices. It makes the game more interesting.
I don't want hard counters, or I don't want lists that don't have hard counters. I it's fine that you have to figure out how to play the game on the board, man.
Yep.
I'd rather have that all day long than have just some list that's derp smashing people. I don't want that
Uh,
at all.
look, the reaction to Daka Daka was ban it. Screw that. It's crazy. It's too powerful. It's running Rupshot. We don't want the meta for that. I don't want that in the meta. I want, hey, guess what? I'm playing a tank army, and I'm playing a little bit of screening units and I got a little bit of this. Oh, I ran into my hard counter. I have to play cagey. I have to think. I have to maneuver around it to pull out the win because I know I'm a little behind the 8 ball. I like that. I like the ability to have to think and play a little differently and decide what to do. Like if I show up and I'm playing just 300 bodies or whatever the number is, 240 bodies. Hey, guess what? You don't have enough guns. It's not great. Oh, I ran into an army that has enough guns combined with mortal wound output. Oh, I have to be much more precise with my movement. I have to think a little bit more. I have to put more time and effort into the game. Makes the game more enjoyable to me. That's I could be wrong on that, but
I don't know.
that's the kind of 40k I enjoy.
I like solving the problem, so that's a big deal
Yep.
for me always. 1 out of 10 bottom tier edition of 40k. 260 crew. Now Gladius skill. I'll bring my Vanguard pew pew list. I had a lot of fun bringing that, by the way, when I went to the team tournament with Desolation Marines, courtesy of Lyle. Um, Two, I had a 6 and a 3 Bolter Inceptors, 6-man Centurion squad, and just all the random scouts, infiltrators, Lieutenant Combi Bolter. It was just fun to play. I don't even know. I don't know if I take it to singles, but man, in teams it was fantastic. I also played
Yeah.
against 5 different armies. Sorry, that's a lie.
And
I
that's
played Yunari twice.
that's one of the things of this edition of 40k. You have to, when you're talking about the meta, you have to talk about the teams meta, singles meta, GW terrain meta, WTC terrain meta. It's a whole different ball of wax all around depending upon what you're doing.
That
So,
UKTC
but
meta is crazy. The
oh yeah,
tables are the most open they've ever been, and they still make those cuts in 4 500-man events after 5 games. So you
yep.
have to be just Chuck Norris kicking every single one of your opponents. They're just all in all the time. 100 or
So
bust.
so Brad, what are we promoting this week?
We're definitely continuing to promote Your and I's tournament, June 6th, 7th, and 8th in Southfield, Michigan, right next to Detroit. Please show up. Everybody says they're coming, but I haven't got enough people actually purchasing tickets.
If you're from the Midwest and you listen to the show, you were a part of Death or Glory or affiliated with Death or Glory, do us a solid and show up so Bersani doesn't take out hits on us.
Yeah, I don't want to give John $1 a day for the rest of my life.
Exactly. But we're also promoting the Salt City GT, which is coming up August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Syracuse, New York. Check that out. Signups are available now. Of course, by the time that rolls around, we'll have a new tournament pack and a whole lot of stuff going on. So
Yeah, it won't be 12 minutes, KR. We're cutting it a little bit short today because I have to record for the just joined a new podcast network for the 40klorcast.com. So we're doing some cross promotion. We're doing some stuff. Also, we be kicking out all of the things. I'm excited for this. We need to get some peeps in, but I'm pumped out for the tournament.
yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. And of course, I'll have the player pack is technically done. We were just waiting for. I was waiting basically to see when these things were dropping. So I got my rules cutoff dates all done. That tournament pack should be up and posted to BCP and the website probably by the end of the week.
Love it or leave it. Gents, we're going to call it a night tonight. I loved looking at, you know what, I'm going back here because I don't even care about that meta. I want to look more at this War Leader. Because I noticed that you can't move before you do it. So it's basically a setup, but it's still pretty awesome.
It's still a setup. If you, it's just, when you were carrying on about it disembarking afterwards, I was like, there must be a strat.
It didn't move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't care. It's still, there's so many different things you can do with this. There's so much you can do. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
I'm really excited for these books. I think they look really cool. They get a lot of options too that look like they're going to be super sweet. Also, like and subscribe. It really helps the show out. Gets us out there. Gets us put out so people can find us in the woods because we like to show up when we're not dying.
Absolutely.
So until then, gents, thanks for hanging out with us today, and we will be around.
Absolutely.